W und U. Just watch me now. Just watch me now. I got something for you, a little more for you. You won't believe your eyes. Just watch me now. Just watch me now. I got something for you, a little more for you. You won't believe your eyes. Just watch me now. Just watch me now. Just watch me now. Just watch me now. From New York to LA, east to the west. They're gonna crown me king. I'm the best of the best. Just one look, you're gonna be obsessed. I give it all I got, never any less. Just watch me now. Just watch me now. I got something for you, a little more for you. You won't believe your eyes. Just watch me now. Just watch me now. I got something for you, a little more for you. You won't believe your eyes. Just watch me now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad we've got some energy in the building. Welcome to the 2023 Stevens Athletics All Rise Awards. My name's Drew Casey, one of the broadcasters here for Stevens Athletics throughout the year, and I'm thrilled to be joining you here tonight as we celebrate the best moments, the brightest stars, and many of the lasting memories of this 2022-2023 athletic year. We saw a lot of them just moments ago. Over 200 home events, over 300 wins. Took some digging on this one. Exactly 746 food truck hot dogs eaten at DeBon during Stevens events. 10 conference championships, 8 team NCAA appearances, and another 10 individual NCAA appearances this year, and 1 national championship. It was really another great year to be a Duck, and to begin our night, we can only start with the man, the myth, the legend. Everybody knows him around here, the Assistant Vice President, Director of Athletics and Recreation. The title will get longer next year, Russ Rogers.
Well, welcome, everyone. I just want to start by thanking and recognizing Drew. A lot of you may not have heard him on our telecast this year, but I bet your family members, friends have. It's a big round of applause for Drew and all of our webcast team. I just want to start by thanking a number of people that have made this year and hopefully your experience really special. I'd like to start out with our committee that put this night together. As you know, it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. And Meg Howie, over here to my left. Meg, please stand. Charles O'Brien. Charles might be hiding somewhere. Is Charles visible anywhere? He's the man behind the curtain. Charles, thank you. Kelly Shea. There's Kelly. And Trevor Clifton. Where's Trevor? Trevor, I saw him as well. Trevor? Thank you so much. I think we're really, really fortunate to have what I feel is the best athletic department staff in the country. It starts with your coaches. They spend so much time. You know, they're the ones that really got you here, right? And you spend more time with them than any other staff member, faculty member, adult member on this campus. Hard to explain, you know, the kind of effort, the kind of dedication it takes to be a coach, the kind of hours that you have to put in the summer, on the recruiting trail, whatever the case may be. But it's all done to provide the very best experience possible here for all of you. So one big round of applause for our coaching staff. Now, there's also a number of other people that help you get to where you are, that keep you healthy, that make you the fittest student athletes in the country, that go out and publicize all of your accomplishments, that make sure all of our events run as smoothly as possible. Let's give a big round of applause for our sports medicine staff, our strength and conditioning staff, our athletic communications staff, and our event staff. And of course, there's a number of other staff members behind everything that we do, whether it's scheduling or just putting together logistics of a trip, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of members of our administrative staff that contribute to this department as well. I'd like to recognize them also. We'd like to recognize Dr. Sarah Klein, who is our manager of athletics, who I report to directly. It's just been such a tremendous experience working with Dr. Klein since she took over as the direct report for athletics. Really appreciate everything she does for us. And now, lastly, he promised me he would come tonight, but I'm not 100% sure he was here. It doesn't matter. He still deserves a big round of applause for Miguel Gonzalez. Everybody knows Miguel. Is Miguel here? As Drew said, it was a tremendous year. I'm going to repeat a little bit of what he said, but a national title, 3 top 7 finishes, 10 conference championships, multiple NCAA participants, and even above and beyond that, though, everyone making their conference tournament and being in the mix to compete for a championship. That's what we're all about here. That's our standard, and once again, we're able to accomplish that. One of the coolest things that sticks out in my mind this year, and my goal is to see every team compete, and I went to our men and women's fencing NCAA regional down at Lafayette College back in March, and watching them compete against Division I programs, University of North Carolina, Princeton, Duke, Columbia, those kinds of schools, I was blown away. And to me, it just set the perfect example. Like, we can really do anything we set our minds to here with hard work and with the kind of support and efforts that everybody's putting in. It's possible. It's very much possible. And this year, I think, very much exemplifies that. It's not over yet. Our men's golf team is getting ready to tee off tomorrow in the national championships. And our track and field team is still going as well, and we're hoping to get multiple qualifiers at the national championships as well coming up in a couple of weeks. So let's give them a good luck shot, round of applause. You know, I've thanked a lot of people tonight, and most importantly, I need to thank all of you, our student athletes. None of this is possible without you. We've gone over a lot of the accomplishments we've had athletically, but you continue to excel academically. Overall team GPA is over a 3.6. Your approach off the court, off the field, whatever the case may be, to mental health and the mental health games that we've had this year, the work of our mental health and fitness committee, you know, stopping that stigma. We all know how important that is. And the efforts that so many of you are making to do that and living by that motto, so important. Really, really appreciate all of your hard work and efforts in that area. Let's continue to do that in the coming year. There's a lot of other cool initiatives coming up. There's going to be a lot of work going on over the summer. Starting, we'll be putting new turf on the field, so apologies that it's not going to be available, but once you see it, I think you'll be very proud of the new facility that we'll have there. And just many other exciting things happening. I can't thank you enough. I hope you really just able to relax, sit back, enjoy tonight. Thank you for all you do. Have a great time. Drew, I'll turn it back over to you.
Let's give a round of applause to Russ for all he does for this athletic department. Okay, before we get to begin our program, we'd like to first recognize the hard work of this year's SAC Executive Board. El Maggio, Elsa Bly, Nina Burden, Meg Dion, and Justin Cross. A round of applause for all of their efforts. Our first award tonight is the Doc Farrell Award. For those of you who don't know, Edwin Doc Farrell served as an athletic trainer here at Stevens from 1974 until 1987, 14 years. To those that knew him, Doc was a man of integrity and compassion and held high standards for conduct, sportsmanship, and was truly dedicated to Stevens and its student athletes. Established in 1990 by Doc's family, this award is given to a member of the Stevens community, or as you'll hear shortly, members of the Stevens community, that model those same qualities that Doc Farrell displayed for so many years here on Castle Point. This year's award winners have each conducted themselves in an honest, dedicated manner and have shown a loyalty to the athletic department and a willingness to serve others whenever asked. This year's winners of the Edwin Doc Farrell Award are, first, Gab Alloy. Second, Emily Leiby. And third, Dana Perry. Unfortunately, Gab and Emily could not be with us tonight, but coming to the stage to share a few words about tonight's Doc Farrell Award recipients is Athletic Communications Manager Trevor Clifton. And Dana.
Hopefully my voice sounds as good as Drew's. When the All Rise Awards Committee met, it was decided that this award really belonged to 3 individuals rather than just singling out one. Gab, Emily, and Dana became a vital part of our communication operations this school year. Not only were they extremely busy with their class schedules as well as practice and game schedules, they still found a way to be present at athletic events to help be a part of the game day experience. Whether it was stepping up to do public address, learning how to stat games, training new staff, or just being a set of helping hands, the recipients of this award were always reliable and ready to step up to the task. For me personally, that helped ease my transition into my new role here at Stevens. When I first started back in March, I was thrown right into the fire and was not completely up to speed with how our game days operated. At times, I would rely on one of them, if not all of them, to help guide me through the learning curve. They were friendly and I felt comfortable reaching out and working with them. Speaking for Charles O'Brien, I know their help was both needed and valued in a time when there weren't multiple people working in our office, and I know how much he relied on each of you to not only get work done, but to make the time fly by on some of those long Saturdays. Our office believes that there aren't 3 better examples of loyalty and dedication to Stevens Athletics than Gab, Emily, and Dana. Congratulations on your award.
Next up is our first Duskby of the night for Comeback Story of the Year. This year's nominees both overcame significant hurdles to return to the fields and compete for Stevens. The nominees for Comeback Story of the Year are Emily Hyde, field hockey. Emily returned to the field last fall from a second torn ACL and served as a team captain for a MAC Freedom playoff team that won 12 games. Our second nominee is Jordan Fiss, baseball. As a first-year player a season ago, Jordan established himself as a top pitcher in the MAC Freedom before suffering a season-ending injury that led to Tommy John surgery. Jordan returned to the mound this season and struck out over a batter an inning in 7 appearances. The Duxby for Comeback Story of the Year goes to Jordan Fiss, baseball. Jordan, you are welcome to read the rest of the program if you'd like. It's 27 pages. Double space, though. We won't be here for very long. Stevens Athletics has been recognizing the academic performance and achievement of its student athletes since 1994. Originally called the Robbins Scholar Athlete of the Year when Stevens was a member of the ECAC, the Stevens Scholar Athlete Award recognizes outstanding achievement in the classroom by a student athlete that has spent at least 3 seasons on the field of competition for Stevens. This year's recipients of the Stevens Scholar Athlete Award are from women's track and field, Leanna Meyer. From men's soccer, Gareth Moritz. And from men's cross country and track and field, Ronnie Maleo. Unfortunately, Gareth couldn't be with us this evening, and Ronnie competed at the Widener Last Chance meet in Pennsylvania earlier today. The funny thing about glue players is that they rarely win MVP awards or command the spotlight, but coaches know that every team needs a glue player. Someone who will make all of the sacrifices necessary to be the glue that holds the team together. Someone who keeps the team focused when times are tough and does all of the little things to make their team successful. And someone that doesn't worry about how many points or how many goals they score or how much time they play, so long as the team wins and they did everything within their role to contribute to that victory. This year's nominees for the Female Glue Award are Carolyn Yan, softball. A junior captain who immediately stepped into the role, Carolyn played a big role in the team's energy and culture this season. She has a special way of keeping teammates cool and calm. She's very dependable and always steps up to volunteer or help a teammate out. Our next nominee, Rachel Rouse, soccer. Rachel is a graduate transfer who immediately bought into the program's values and mentality. She was an immediate impact player on and off the field. The team immediately viewed her as a leader who practiced what she preached, gave her 100% to every single thing that she did. Next nominee, Aliana Heights, tennis. Aliana is a first-year student who commutes from Jersey City. Aliana wakes up as early as 4:45 a.m. to arrive on campus. I don't think I've ever woke up at 4:45 a.m. She comes for practice and is always early, never complains, and brings a great attitude. And our final nominee, Julianne Murphy, lacrosse. Julianne has exemplified our team-first mentality the entire season. She's always working hard to lift her teammates up, not only with her voice, but her actions as well. As coaches, we always look to her when the team needs motivation, and there's always a visible change in our team when Julianne speaks to the squad. The Duxby for the Female Glue Award goes to Julianne Murphy. She'll be back. Now time for the nominees for the Male Glue Award. Beginning with men's lacrosse and Gavin Mowdy. Gavin has been a clear glue player in the program over the last 2 years. He's an enjoy, everyday type of teammate and a true leader with his work ethic and the respect he continues to earn from his teammates. Our next nominee, Danny Lamastra, track and field. Danny has been a rock for the program throughout his 6 years of eligibility. He battled injuries his entire career and spent most of his time in the training room trying to get back just as quickly as he could. Despite the numerous setbacks, Danny has been an outstanding captain and perfect leader. While not always on the track, he was always the first to push his teammates to be better, to cheer on a great performance, and to be there when the team needed him most. Danny brought so much more to our program than just performances. Our next nominee, Ashi Kulkarni, men's tennis. Ashi is a team captain who is the epitome of a leader and fantastic teammate. He has evolved as a leader who is willing to get out of his comfort zone to bring our team closer together, push everyone to work harder, and did it all in a way with compassion and the utmost in integrity. He's an inclusive team leader and is a member of the athletic department's mental health and fitness committee. Ashi's actions speak louder than his words and manages to compete with the difficult balance of a fierce competitor with the highest level of sportsmanship at all times. And our final nominee, Nicholas Smith, fencing. Nicholas is the hardest worker on the team, had a great season, taking 10th at regionals, and volunteers for every committee he can serve on. He's also an active member of Stevens Student Government. The Duxby for the Male Glue Award goes to Danny Lamastra. Stevens Athletics is lucky to have several outstanding alumni who support the department and our student athletes in ways such as mentorship, financial donations, attending games as fans, volunteer coaching. The list continues and goes on. The Lisa Faye Roldan Award was established in 2012 in honor of Lisa, who was a women's fencing alumna that tragically passed away in a car accident in 2010, 13 years ago. The award is presented to an alumna that has gone above and beyond in the enhancement and development of women's athletics here at Stevens. This year, the award returns to the sport that has its namesake in which it participated here at Stevens. The recipient of the Lisa Faye Roldan Award is Allison Urban Spillane. And now we'd like to invite Linda Volkemer-Lynch to the stage to share a few words about Allison.
When Lisa Faye graduated in 1995, she went on until her death in 2010 of endlessly working for the team. being spirit, working out, giving lessons, every match, keeping scores for us. And in the meantime, she was the vice president of Merrill Lynch and volunteered for 4 volunteer organizations in New York City, including New York Cares. She was just an amazing person. Allison is an amazing person also. She gives so much time. She has a full-time job. She comes to practices. She gives lessons. She fences. She's an inspiration. And she's there for the team. She graduated in 2020. They can relate to her. And she gives so much of her time. It's just an amazing thing. And we're so proud to have her. And I'm so glad she won this award, because Lisa Fay would be really happy if she did, if she knew. Thank you.
Okay, next up is the Newcomer of the Year, an award presented to a female and male first-year student-athlete who has made a tremendous impact on his or her team. Here are the nominees for Female Newcomer of the Year. Layla Castro, basketball. The Mac Freedom Rookie of the Year, Layla started every game for the Ducks, who earned an at-large bid to the NCAA this season. She was a floor general and leader who paced the team offensively. Stephanie Untermeyer, tennis. The Mac Freedom Rookie of the Year, Stephanie played at #1 singles and #1 doubles and rose to as high as 4th in the NCAA's regional doubles rankings. Natalia Brunetti, swimming. Natalia was a 2-time conference champion, winning the 100-yard and 200-yard butterfly. And our final nominee, Lauren Sullivan, lacrosse. The Mac Freedom Defensive Player of the Year, as a first-year player, Lauren was an incredible asset to her team on the defensive end, shutting down every team's biggest offensive threat. And the Duxby goes to Layla Castro, basketball. Next up is the Male Newcomer of the Year, Austin Liao, golf. After being limited by an ACL tear in the fall, Austin had a big spring for the NCAA qualifying golf team, earning Rookie of the Year honors after seeing 9 of his 10 scores count towards the team total. In case you didn't notice, that's not Austin. Matthew Pergola, lacrosse. Matthew was the Attackman of the Year and the Rookie of the Year in the Mac Freedom after being the leading scorer for the #1 offense in the country. Brandon Kiefer, track and field. Brandon was the Mac's Indoor Conference champion in the heptathlon and finished 3rd in the decathlon at the Outdoor Championships. And our final nominee, Philip Bone, volleyball. Philip was the Mac Rookie of the Year, totaling 160 kills, 18 aces, 107 digs, and 22 blocks. And the Duxby goes to Matthew Pergola, men's lacrosse. Stevens has always had the support of the university president, including current president Nariman Favardan, who can always be found cheering on the Ducks to victory, even if that means taking a fan bus to Maryland on a Sunday morning. Harold J. Ravichet was the 6th president of Stevens, serving from 1988 to 2010. Ravichet was a tremendous advocate for Stevens athletics and supported the Ducks during a period of great growth and success. During Ravichet's time as president, Stevens added multiple sports, had the first NCAA appearance in program history, and saw the first Duck crowned national champ. The Ravichet Awards are given to 2 student athletes that best combine academic and athletic excellence with the ability to also lead in the classroom and in competition. The female winner of this year's Harold J. Ravichet Award is Agatha Malinowski. We now invite women's tennis junior Paulina Odintsova to the stage to share a few words about Agatha on behalf of head coach Arik Zivi.
Hi, everyone. Just a little bit nervous to be up here. I'm going to give a few words on behalf of our coach, Arik Zivi, who unfortunately couldn't make it here today. So, Agatha's commitment on the court, in the classroom, have been consistent since she stepped on campus as a freshman in 2018. Agatha came in her first year and immediately played at the top of the lineup, earning her nickname No Mercy Malinowski. Since then, Agatha has grown as a person, player, and leader, and has helped our program make history by winning its first 3 conference championships over the past 5 seasons. What makes Agatha special on the court is also what makes her such a successful student, her consistent work ethic and ability to show up. No matter what she was going through, you could always depend on Agatha to show up on time and give her best effort. It is the same work ethic and determination that explains how Agatha was able to earn her bachelor's degree in quantitative finance, her master's degree in financial engineering, and serve as a team captain the last 2 seasons, all while maintaining over a 3.9 GPA. The one positive about Agatha entering the alumni ranks is that she will immediately improve the quality of our annual mixed doubles alumni tournament, something sorely needed and something all alumni will be very grateful for. Congratulations, Mama Doc, on winning the Harold J. Ravichet Award. I'm proud of you and grateful to have had the opportunity to be your coach and share the court together these last few years. I wish you all the best in your next chapter and look forward to seeing you soon. Arik.
The male winner of this year's Harold J. Ravichet Award is Andy Faubert, men's fencing. And we now invite head men's fencing coach Jim Carpenter to the stage to share a few words about Andy.
What to say about Andy? This guy's just been unbelievable from the first day that he's gotten to Stevens. He comes to the Temple Open, one of the most important fencing tournaments we have in the history of Stevens fencing, and he wins it his freshman year. And then he just continues to get A after A after A. As a matter of fact, Linda, the women's fencing coach, and I were in America's Cup the other day, and Andy came in. And I was like, Andy, what's your grade point average? And he's like, 3993 or something like that. And I was like, who was the one guy that gave you an A-? I don't understand it. So anyway, he's been unbelievable. He's been our team leader. He's won an incredible amount of fencing bouts his entire career. Just been an unbelievable addition to the team. And you should see the job offers and the incredible offers he's getting for like PhD work and things like that too. So unbelievable career, Andy. Good job.
Our next award is in honor of a member of the Stevens community that goes above and beyond in their support and dedication to the Ducks. This year's winner is a familiar face to everybody in attendance this evening. He's constantly friendly to everybody, athletes, fans, parents, even officials. He's the first person to lend a hand and is always sharing news about his Ducks, where he has worked for over 20 years. He even listens to our day game, sometimes with special shout-outs for his students in the classroom. Just don't tell the principal, anybody. The winner of this year's Staff Appreciation Award is Michael Tornamby. And we now invite events manager Keith Kinsella to the stage to share a few words.
So when I was first asked to speak on Mike's behalf, I was like, good, I got the mic, I can actually roast him. But we're too close. He knows too many stories, so he'd probably just get me back. So, just a few fun facts about Mike that maybe you don't already know. He was Division I baseball player from Manhattan, still among the school's leaders in hits, and was drafted by the San Diego Padres. He still likes baseball. Unfortunately, we don't share the same teams. His favorite professional sports teams are the Yankees and the Chargers. So, sorry, Mike. As it was touched on, Mike is very dedicated to Stevens. As they mentioned, he's been here 20 years. So if you want to think about it, I know that some of you in the audience are probably not 20. So he's been here for a very long time, and we appreciate all his work and dedication. He also takes time, he'll take a full day at school teaching, get in a car, drive here to be here for game time. Now, he works in Colonia. It's not the easiest place to get to Hoboken from Colonia, and that's during the week. On the weekends, he's away from his family. It takes an hour drive from Middletown. So I just want to shout out to his family, his son Easton, Ariel, who is doing her best to give her father a hard time as a preteen, and Melissa, his wife. And I think a piece of this award should go to his wife. There's a lot of time that Mike spends away from his family, and it's not gone unnoticed. I just want to congratulate Mike on his award, and thank you for all the dedication and time you spent for Stevens.
And Mike, the Yankees are up 3-0 over the Toronto Blue Jays right now. So you're in good shape. Bottom of the third. This year, Stevens Athletics lost an important member of our community when Joanne Chakeen passed away on December 8th of 2022. Joanne worked at Stevens for over 33 years before retiring in 2020. For many years, Joanne was the face of the Schaefer Athletic Center, and the pandemic robbed Joanne of the proper celebration so rightfully deserved as she transitioned to retirement post-Stevens. Tonight, we dedicate this ceremony in her honor as a reminder that Joanne will forever be a Stevens Duck. New for this year, we would like to give a special acknowledgement to 7 of our inclusion reps for demonstrating a commitment to the program for the betterment of their team and community. These student athletes completed all the required trainings, went above and beyond in meetings, and provided consistent content for continued conversations with their respective teams. We would like to recognize the following 7: Zachary Boykin, Chris Davis, Elaine Koiker, Erin Kreis, Julianne Murphy, Emily Smart, and Julia Zadico. We'd also invite them to the stage to receive a special certificate from program coordinators Meredith Spencer Blates and Liliana Delman. Our next award honors a student athlete that successfully pairs their ability in athletics with a loyalty and devotion to the Stevens community as a whole. Named after John A. Davis, who was the first director of physical education at Stevens, this award dates back to 1951 and connects Davis's development of tradition within the athletic department to a current student athlete that best lives up to them. This year's Davis Award winner from softball, Siobhan Cattell. And now please welcome head softball coach Emily Kazmarek to the stage to share a few words about Siobhan.
Hello, everyone. So Siobhan has just completed her 6th season with our softball program, and if she could have completed a 7th, I'm sure she would have. She has never once wavered in her loyalty to the program, her teammates, or this university. When you think of Siobhan as a Stevens softball student athlete, some of the first things that might come to mind are the full splits at first base, the superstitious tattoos that she can't get enough of, and a traveling rubber duck for our dugouts. For me, not only is Siobhan the fastest kid alive, she is a student athlete who I have depended and relied on and has been with me since the start of my head coaching career. That's a really special thing to share. Siobhan's passion for the sport of softball and her buy-in to our program's goals have been more than I could have ever asked for. Congratulations, Siobhan. We're very proud of you.
Sometimes a student athlete's performance is so great over a single season that it qualifies as an exception. Here are the nominees for exceptional female single season performance. Volleyball's Bailey Axelrad, who finished 13th in the country in digs and was named Mac Freedom Defensive Player of the Year. Fencing's Alana Schmidt. Alana surpassed 100 career wins in just 2 seasons and was a conference champion at Sabre. Softball's Meg Halloran. Meg broke the program record for career hits with 199, needing 9 less games and 70 less at-bats than the previous record holder. And it took 143 games for Meg to hit her first career home run. She was so excited, in the next at-bat, she hit her second career home run. Our final nominee, swimming's Gabby Tyre, who battled through illness to earn 2 medals at the conference championship meet. The Duxby for exceptional female single-season performance goes to volleyball's Bailey Axelrad. And now the nominees for exceptional male single-season performance. Wrestling's Kyle Slendorn. Kyle finished 5th at Nationals and had a stretch of 11 victories that all came with bonus points. Fencing's Andy Faubert. A conference champion at Epee who reached 200 career wins this season. Soccer's Bruno Andino. A first-team All-American that led the country in game-winning goals. And our final nominee, volleyball's Loudon Moran. Loudon was named most valuable player of the NCAA tournament and handed out just under 1,000 assists this season. The Duxby goes to Bruno Andino. Unfortunately, Bruno could not be with us tonight, but we, of course, send our congratulations to him watching via our live stream tonight. Our next award is in honor of Max Klimkite, class of 1931, and is presented to 2 student athletes that best display both sportsmanship and spirit. Our female Max Klimkite Award is from field hockey, Emily Hyde. And we now invite head field hockey head coach Meredith Spencer-Blates to the stage to share a few words about Emily.
When I read the description for the Max Klimkite Award, there was no hesitation to nominate Emily Hyde, as she perfectly embodies sportsmanship and spirit. Emily, or Hyde as she is affectionately known, has had a non-traditional journey as a member of the Stevens Field Hockey program. She was the first and only walk-on athlete during the fall of 2019, as she had focused her college search purely on athletics. The timing worked out well for us, and after a few practices, there was no question that she would be a great fit for our team. While she was coming off an ACL injury and still coming back to full strength, she worked hard, always had a smile on her face, and exuded the energy that any coach dreams of. After losing her sophomore season to COVID, she was dealt the devastating blow of tearing her second ACL during preseason of her junior year. Hyde had surgery and rehab through the season, but most importantly, she came to every practice, every game, cheered the loudest for her teammates, and demonstrated a commitment to the program no matter the circumstances. At the end of her junior season, despite not competing, Hyde was unanimously elected as captain by her teammates. She returned with triumph this past fall and once again cheered the loudest, worked the hardest, and has truly been the start of the phenomenal culture we have on our team. Emily Hyde is a force of nature, and anyone who comes in contact with her will be met with kindness, humor, and a fierce intelligence. She has made Stevens Field Hockey her passion during her 4 years. Her teammates, past and present, and all of her coaches were made better by her presence. Congratulations.
The male Max Klimkite Award winner is from national champion men's volleyball Alex Franca. Unfortunately, had to make sure that wasn't Alex. That's Kobe. Unfortunately, Alex could not be with us tonight, but we invite head men's volleyball coach Dan Buring to the stage to share a few words about Alex. And we, of course, send our congratulations to Alex over our live stream. Coach?
How about a big round of congratulations for Alex? It's a real privilege to stand up here in front of all of you. I'm just going to share Alex's story really briefly, and my hope is that it serves as an example, a light, a North Star for a lot of you aspiring young athletes. Maybe you want to be a team captain. Maybe you want to be a national champion. Alex wanted all of those things, and he didn't know he wanted all of them right off the bat. I had to twist his arm, and I said to him, hey, you would be a heck of a captain. And he was like, no. We got to talk. Nope. He was very nervous, very weird about it, and I was like, no, you're going to be a great captain. Like, I just need you to go home and think about it. Call me in a day. And I was like, I don't care what he says. I'm going to talk him into it. And Alex really did go from a place of worrying about his playing time, degrees of insecurity, and just trying to figure out, like, how can I have a role in this team and get after things. Who he became after that was really, truly remarkable. He started to slowly realize he had a greater responsibility than just worrying about himself. He started to ask questions like, how can I get better? Who do I need to be? What do you see that I could do a little bit better here? And he's just kept getting better and better under the wings of another great captain we had. And by the time this year rolled around, I cannot say enough words about who Alex became. And I really want to emphasize those humble beginnings to all of you, because what happened next was he made himself into a guy who showed up with a smile and enthusiasm every single day, but behind that was a killer work ethic to say, what can I do to make this team better? Hey, coach, you're thinking about this big decision. Here's something you need to know as you navigate that challenging undertaking with this team. And he was a partner to me. He was an advocate for whatever it was that I was trying to push. Sometimes the team didn't maybe see exactly where I was coming from, but Alex would help me craft a message that would help us get to where we ultimately did, which that whole time, I think, you know, Alex's influence just cannot be overstated. And there's a few things that Alex wanted to make sure that you all heard about him, and I'm going to kind of share them in my own words, but one is that we should be having fun doing this. There should be joy present in this, and he made sure that was the case. He always had a huge smile on his face, and I will share that as he continued on, he just kept joy central. Being really, really great at the game came easier and easier to him, which was really, really cool to see. The other thing was that he spent a whole lot of time just thinking about how he could help make his teammates better. That became awfully contagious, and our whole team just spent a lot of time asking ourselves, what can we do to make the people around us a little bit better to achieve our goals? Alex spearheaded that. He started it. He was a spark and a catalyst to a flame that led to a national championship that, to me, I always felt like it's a matter of time before we'll get there, and it did happen ahead of my expectations if I'm going to talk to you about where I was 2 years ago, and Alex is a big reason we got there. So my encouragement to you is to be a little Franca-like if you can, put a big smile on, be goofy, but deadly serious underneath that and get your team to where they need to be. That's exactly who Alex was. Thanks for your time.
There have been over 150 years of athletics here at Stevens, and records continue to be broken and milestones continue to be reached. This year, there were 4 records that were set by Ducks that stood out amongst the rest. Here are the nominations for Record-Breaking Performance of the Year. Laura Matthews, Women's Track and Field. Laura set almost 10 individual records over the course of the indoor and outdoor season, including multiple conference overall and championship meet records. Jack Spellman, men's basketball. Jack set both the single game and single season record for blocks. Emily Franco, field hockey. Emily set the record for career victories by a goalie in program history. And golf's Gus Vickers. Gus became just the 3rd player in the 73-year history of the Middle Atlantic Conference and the first Stevens golfer ever to earn back-to-back individual conference championships. The Duxby for record-breaking performance of the year goes to Laura Matthews, women's track and field. There were so many great moments and plays during the 2022-23 season, so it was very difficult to pick just one. We direct your attention to the screen as we present the plays of the year.
Never stop. A dreamer with the fever to be great was sweat, I'll break my bones till I'm.
And the Duxby for Play of the Year in the year 22-23 athletically goes to wrestling's Frank Medina. Just as there were so many great plays, there were also many great games. Some here, some on the road. Here are the nominees for the Game of the Year. Men's lacrosse's convincing 15-7 win over number 8 Wesleyan. Men's basketball's come from behind win at Baruch, where the Ducks rallied from a 30-point second half deficit to win in overtime. Men's soccer's draw with Johns Hopkins, where the Ducks advanced on penalties to the second Final Four in school history. And finally, Russ spoke about this earlier. Men's fencing's victory at number 1 Columbia, who has won 3 of the last 7 national championships. It was Stevens' first ever win over Columbia. The Duxby goes to men's fencing and the win over Columbia. Our final Duxby of the night is for the Outstanding Team of the Year. As we mentioned earlier in the evening, there were so many standout performances and achievements, but these nominees stood out. Wrestling, who won 10 duels, captured both the Mid-Atlantic Conference and Southeast Regional titles, and finished 7th at Nationals. Men's volleyball, who set a new program record with 35 wins in winning Stevens' second team national championship. And the final nominee for Team of the Year is men's soccer, who finished with 17 wins and reached the second Final Four in program history. And the Duxby for Team of the Year goes to the national champions, men's volleyball. Our next award is named in honor of Erwin Buzz Seymour, who served Stevens as an athletic director, professor, and coach from 1950 to 1989. That's 40 years. The award is presented to the male and female athletes of the year. First, our female athlete of the year. From women's lacrosse, Cameron Rogers. Head women's lacrosse coach Karen Shattuck will share a few words about Cameron.
It has been my privilege to coach Cam over the last 3 years. Her awards and stats speak for themselves: a 2-time conference champion, a 2-time U.S. Lacrosse All-American, this year's MAC Freedom Attacker of the Year, and 249 points in her career. I could spend all night listing them off, but what sets Cam apart is her dedication, teamwork, and leadership. Cam is one of the most driven individuals I've ever coached. I am sure the track coaches can attest to this because she's doing wall ball at least twice a day on their office walls. Every summer, Cam has gone in with a new goal for herself coming into the following season, which was not only to improve her own game, but how we could make the team better too. She truly embodied our team-first mentality. Cam is a competitor. She understood how important competing at practice every day was. She wanted our defense to play her tougher, lock her off, so she was ready for that in games. As much as she hates to lose, she knew the significance of learning from a loss. She led the way with a resilient mindset that spread across the team as we took our revenge tour the last 2 weeks. It is hard to believe that 3 years ago, when Cam said she wanted to run for captain, our biggest focus was telling her that she needed to use her voice more. She turned into the player that everyone leaned on in big moments to tell them that we had it, and to find the energy for one more push. In our NCAA games this weekend, she believed in every single one of her teammates and led the way to 2 of our best performances of the year. Cam, I'm so proud to be your coach. You have led this program to a new level and left it better than when you got here. You're so deserving of this award. Congratulations.
Now time for our male athlete of the year. From men's soccer, Justin Cross. Unfortunately, Justin could not be with us tonight, but we send our congratulations over the live stream. Our final award of the evening. Told you we'd get through 27 pages quickly. The Gear and Triangle Society Award. Dating back to 1928, this award has the longest lineage in the athletic department and recognizes the seniors that are the best athletes of the graduating class. Our male Gear and Triangle Award winner is Adam Silva. Unfortunately, Adam could not be with us tonight. Our female Gear and Triangle Award winner is from women's basketball, Jess Broad. And we now invite head women's basketball coach at SWA, Meg Howie, for a few words about Jess.
Thank you to all our athletes tonight for their work on and off the field, and congrats on your many accomplishments this academic year. 5 years ago, we welcomed Jess onto campus, and it was an adventure from the start. I will never forget, after Jess's first day in the weight room, our captains at the time come into my office and say, "Coach, you have no idea what you're in for." I said, what happened? They said, well, in Jess's first day in the weight room, when Coach Michelle and Maddie told her to plank, the minute she was in a perfect plank, and the minute they turned their back, she was face down, laying on the floor, on her stomach, and the minute they turned back and looked at her, she was back in a perfect plank. Needless to say, she was thrown out of the weight room. She was also excused from practices, and over the course of her careers, has probably cost her teammates, Danielle and Kate, over a full marathon in 6 and 36 sprints. With every setback, you could see Jess grow. Some things took more times than others, but the evolution into who she is today is amazing. Jess is passionate, caring, coachable, determined. She is a superior athlete who this year demonstrated leadership and a commitment to excellence that 5 long years ago I would have never thought possible. It did take a village, all of her patient and caring teammates in the back who kicked her in the ass when she needed it and loved her imperfections. To all of the coaches, including track and field, our captains, the strength and conditioning staff, everyone, we thank you. Jess will graduate with 1,542 career points and 726 rebounds. She's a 2-time D3 Hoops All-Region Team, a MAC Freedom Player of the Year, and a first-team All-Met selection. But what is more impressive than any statistic or basketball award is the Jess we saw flourish this year. Team success was her priority, and she hated to lose. She has a selflessness that every coach dreams of. She worked tirelessly to give our team all that she had. Jess epitomizes the lesson that we all can connect with. It is not where you start, but where you finish.
Let's have one final round of applause for all of our award winners here tonight. And before we finish, I want to share something a little personal in terms of my career. I'm privileged to work at a lot of different college institutions of various divisions on the East Coast. Regardless of division, regardless of anything, Stevens is truly one of the most special places that I get to come to call games. So thank you, everybody, student athletes, administrators, staff, everybody. And on behalf of everybody, thank you for an exciting 2022-23 season. Hopefully some more achievements and exciting moments still to come. That will conclude tonight's ceremony. We have a couple of announcements, so hold on just one moment. Thanks for attending the annual All Rise Awards. We hope you enjoyed your experience and were able to celebrate the amazing accomplishments of the entire department. At this time, we'd like to invite all seniors and graduate students to come to the stage to collect your stoles if you haven't done so already from Coach Howie. And if any teams or groups would like pictures on the stage, you are more than welcome to stay and come up to the stage to be photographed as well. Thanks, everyone. Good night.